President Trump's legal team arguing the long-standing professional relationship between Robert Mueller and his successor James Comey is a conflict of interest, raising serious questions about Mueller's loyalties as the Russia investigation unfolds. Meantime, the Wall Street Journal painting the two men as being cut from the same cloth, almost literally saying this, and I'm quoting, "The two former FBI directors are longtime friends who share a similar personal righteousness." Mr. Mueller, then running the FBI, joined Mr. Comey, then Deputy Attorney General, in threatening to resign in 2004 after George W. Bush's anti-terror wiretaps. Let's bring in Christopher Bedford, editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller News Foundation. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
I have said from the very beginning, to go on record here, that Robert Mueller getting appointed special counsel was too close for comfort, given his very special, very close relationship with fellow and former fired FBI Director James Comey. What is Mueller basically intending to do here, since after months of investigating, the FBI has come up with zilch evidence in the evidence of collusion, which is the main purpose of the Russia investigation?
You really do have to wonder about that. Obstruction of what exactly? They're saying it's obstruction of justice, but all of the things that we're talking about, whether you want to talk about the Jeff Sessions hearing where a former senator who deals in foreign relations had contacts with the foreign government, or you want to talk about his Trump's son-in-law's business dealings or past things that Donald Trump did, or you want to talk about this obstruction of justice, the problem is there's the core of this, how it all got started. The allegation that Donald Trump and members of his campaign colluded with the Kremlin, with the foreign government, to defeat Hillary Clinton and become president of the United States. That's not what anyone's talking about at all. We've gotten completely off message. I think a lot of the country's sick of hearing it. And the problem is some of these outbursts from Donald Trump have not helped his case, the social media case. And it's kind of fueled a little bit of this stuff. And they put him in a difficult position now with Mueller breathing down his neck and Mueller himself, or at least congressmen that he's talked to or their staff, leaking to the New York Times once again to try and harm the president.
Mueller's staff appointments speak for themselves, and I want to go through a couple of them. One hire in particular, which stands out to me, is Michael Dreeben. He's a deputy solicitor general. He specializes in criminal law and the Constitution. Now, is Dreeben on hand to make a legal case for impeachment? And is that Mueller's intent to get President Trump impeached?
Well, I'd be guessing at his motives. Mueller is an honorable man. He's a decorated combat veteran from the Vietnam War, but he's also very, very close with James Comey, and he's somebody who's got that self-righteous FBI agent warrior thing about him. He's got a tradition of maybe being overzealous, like when he pushed back against George W. Bush's White House, when George W. Bush said, "You've gone too far in attacking a corrupt Democratic congressman." Of course, George W. Bush wasn't trying to do that. Also, there's no reason that this guy should probably really be on Mueller's team, to your point. He's not he's not an espionage, he's not in counterintelligence. It looks like he's trying to build, his skill set is building a case for impeachment, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Mueller in Washington, D.C., in the swamp, to make that case.
Obstruction of justice. You say obstruction of what? Then also this week it was revealed through more leaks that Trump is being investigated for not only obstruction of justice, but it was also revealed this week by the Washington Post that Mueller is, quote, investigating the finances and business dealings of Jared Kushner. Is Mueller, do you think, basically on a mission to nail anyone, whether it has anything to do with the Russia probe or not?
That often happens with special prosecutors. We saw that with Kennedy going after Dick Cheney. He wanted a body. He ended up going after Scooter Libby, and a lot of people think that was incredibly unfair. We even saw that with the Republican special investigator going after Bill Clinton. A lot of America got bored with it, or they got sick of it, and they might have gone too far and overstepped. Special prosecutors have a history of looking to make a name for themselves and go further. The one good thing about Mueller that's in Trump's basket is he's probably not going to be running for office. He doesn't need to make a name for himself. But based on these decisions that he's made so far, and I think we'll learn more in the next coming weeks as leaks continue to come out that hurt the president, we'll find out if his motive is just nailing someone to the wall.
Okay, here's another uncanny one I got to mention, and I think a lot of viewers will be surprised if they don't know about this already, because there's another hire which I believe should be looked at as a major conflict of interest. Mueller has recruited, for those at home that don't know this, Andrew Wiseman. Let me tell you who this guy is. He oversaw the Enron task force. He led the prosecution of the Arthur Andersen accounting firm. He got completely ruined in the press for legal issues. Wiseman also, by the way, had donated to Hillary Clinton's political campaign. But that's not all. I'm not done. He was highly criticized for his legal conduct by, guess what paper? The New York Observer newspaper. Hey, guess who owned the Observer at the time? Jared Kushner. I mean, how can Wiseman actually fairly judge the Trump family and campaign with that kind of history?
Yeah, if you're a lawyer trying to select a jury, these are not the guys you would want on it.
No.
The problem for Donald Trump is his hands are a little bit tied. He can force a firing of Mueller, but
that wouldn't look good, though.
It would be bad optics. And to the point of optics, this team that Mueller's pulled together of criminal prosecutors and constitutional lawyers, combined with Democratic donors who've had longtime run-ins with Kushner and with the Trump family, that's bad optics as well. And already half the country is extremely suspicious of this. The other half has already decided that he's guilty, and this is just a sentencing hearing. But the first half of this country is not going to buy it if Mueller doesn't tread very carefully and actually try to do this fairly and come across as doing it fairly.
All right, Christopher Bedford, thank you so much for your time.